Hi, I'm the Rogue Reviewer. I've just come back from the cinema, so tonight's film was Cold Storage. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts of the film, my overall score. So here we go. So the film stars Keery as Tea Cake, Georgina Campbell as Naomi, and Liam Neeson as Robert Quinn, a government agent. So decades previously, a space lab crash lands onto Earth containing this outer space fungus that is very contagious. It destroys everything in its path. Any human that comes into contact with dies almost instantly. So Liam Neeson's character is able to contain it at the time, and the government basically put it into a deep storage government facility where no one can come into contact with. However, over decades past, this government building is eventually sold off and kind of forgotten about. And Joe Keery's character and Georgina's character Naomi end up working in this new building, which is a storage facility where they basically rent space. So one night where Tea Cake and Naomi are working, start hearing these random beeping sounds. So they go to investigate and they realize there's a secret, previously was a secret government building with contained areas where they discover the fungus and virus and how it's kind of overgrowing out of itself, and the things that were keeping it in place are no longer working. So they find a government number which they call, which then basically leads to Robert Quinn's character being contacted. Obviously, he knows the full dangers of this virus and he wants to act instantly. So he travels to the government building to try to contain the situation because he knows the dangers of this virus, and if it spreads, it could be the end of humanity. So while the characters are sort of dealing with the outbreak of this fungus, Liam Neeson is frantically trying to get there to sort of help the situation. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away. So overall, I enjoyed Cold Storage. There was a slight charm about it. It was kind of felt like a sort of B kind of like horror movie. The pacing of it was really good. It kind of gets into the story quite quick. The characters they were enjoyable. There was great chemistry between Joe Keery's character and Georgina Campbell's. They were kind of it kind of felt a bit kind of Scooby Dooish. They were kind of investigating what was happening in the storage facility, and they kind of randomly kind of stumble upon this fungus. There's some quite good sort of comic moments in it as well at the same time, while they're dealing with this kind of terrible, horrific situation of this mutated virus that could potentially destroy the world. Liam Neeson's character is really good. He's like a government agent that's he's very reminiscent of his usual kind of official efficient kind of government character that's dealing with the situation. And I have to say, this film was kind of very reminiscent of the film Evolution as well, where you have this kind of contagious virus, this unstoppable virus that just keeps spreading and spreading, and these kind of quirky characters who are trying to just deal with it and trying to understand what's happening at the same time. It's because it's set in this small storage facility place. The film does feel quite a small kind of scale film. There isn't many locations other than just the storage facility from the lower levels to the upper levels. So it's all kind of contained in one sort of small space, which I didn't mind. And it kept the film kind of running along quite, the pace of the film was quite good. You know, you're engaged from pretty much the start to the finish. You could kind of tell what was happening. It wasn't such a very complex film that you didn't know how it was going to go and what was going to happen, but it was entertaining at the same time. So I'd say the horror aspect of the film was pretty good. There were some good gory scenes. The way the characters kind of mutated through the fungus was entertaining. There was lots of, sort of guts and explosions. If you're a horror fan, I think you'll find it entertaining. There's some good visuals as well, some quite good sort of jump scares. Even though it was kind of funny in parts, there was some scary moments as well. So the tone was pretty well on the mark in terms of the horror sides. The cinematography was good. It was very, I'd say, very low key, sort of just set in one location. It was quite dark throughout the film. So onto my score. So I found the film, it was enjoyable. It was like a sci-fi horror action film. There was nothing too complex about it. It was an easy story to kind of sort of follow from start to end, but you're engaged at the same time. I would probably give this film a 6.4 out of 10. It was an enjoyable watch. I'd probably watch it again with some mates. It was a fun action sci-fi horror film to watch. Anyway, go check it out. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and follow, and I'll see you on the next one.